Hello. This presentation is on classes of nutrients that provide energy. As you can see from this table, those are carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. We'll talk later on about classes of nutrients that promote growth and development and ones that regulate the body. As you can see, though, there is some overlap. Carbohydrates are your main energy source. 60% of your calories should actually come from carbohydrates. And they come in the form of sugars, starches, and fibers. Starches and sugars yield about 4 kilocalories per gram of energy. What the heck is a kilocalorie? It's just a unit of energy. Grams are units of weight, ounces and liters are units of volume, feet and meters are units of length, while kilocalories are just units of energy, and yields 4 kilocalories per gram of energy. So on your first assignment, I'm actually going to have you figure out how many calories from carbohydrates you get. So let's say a product has 10 grams of carbohydrates. It's going to yield 40 kilocalories of energy. How do you do that? Well, I took the 10 grams, I multiplied it by my energy density of 4 kilocalories per gram. See up here? And what's nice, grams canceled, and I yield with 40 kilocalories of energy. Now, most of your carbohydrates should be from starches, not simple sugars. And you need them because your brain needs them. It's the only safe energy source for the brain. So again, carbohydrates are your main energy source. If you look at this old food pyramid right here, you'll see it's the base of the food pyramid. But it's very easy to go over the 6 to 11 servings because the serving's actually only half a cup. Now, your brain cannot use fat safely for energy. It can use something called ketone bodies, which are made from fat, but that leads to something called acidosis, and you don't want that. Now, if you don't eat enough carbohydrates, what your body does is it makes these ketone bodies, and it also attacks your proteins, the proteins in your body. And it scavenges their building blocks called amino acids, because 5 of these amino acids can be used to make sugar. The rest can't. But what happens when you take those proteins apart? They don't work anymore. So you need carbohydrates to save protein and to have a safe energy source of your brain. And again, how many kilocalories per gram does it yield? Correct, 4. Now, lipids are fats and oils. They're long chains of carbon and hydrogen, and they don't mix well with water. They're less dense than carbohydrates and water. That's why they float on water. And as a result, they yield 9 kilocalories per gram. Do you remember what carbohydrates yield? That's right, 4 kilocalories per gram. So this is twice the energy that a carbohydrate yields. So if I have 1 gram of carbohydrates, I get 4 kilocalories per gram. 1 gram of lipids yields 9 kilocalories per gram. Now, if a meal has 2 grams of lipid, it will yield 18 kilocalories. So again, I took the 2 grams, I multiplied by the energy density of 9 kilocalories per gram, and I got 18 kilocalories. Now, most of your cells can use lipids for energy. Oils and fats both yield 9 kilocalories per gram. Doesn't matter if it's peanut oil or if it's bacon grease. They both yield 9 kilocalories per gram. But oils, which are liquid, are better for you than fats, which are solid. Proteins can be used for energy too. Your body would rather not. Only about 10% of your calories come from proteins. And some of them, you could break them down and make sugar. Others are used directly as energy. Now, either way, your body's going to produce ammonia, which is a waste product. Ammonia gets changed to urea, gets excreted through the kidneys. You eat a lot of protein, a lot of this occurs, and it puts stress on the kidneys. They too yield 4 kilocalories per gram. Remember, carbohydrates yield that too. Lipids yield 9 kilocalories per gram. So I eat 30 grams of protein. To put that in a term you could understand, that's an ounce of protein. That is 1/16 of a pound of protein. I'm going to get 130 calories. Kilocalories are actually another way to say food calorie. which is what you're used to. Aha! So let's do the math. 30 grams times 4 kilocalories per gram. Gram cancels out, and I get 120 kilocalories. Well, I know 1 kilocalorie equals 1 food calorie, so this is 120 food calories, or 120 calories. So for your first assignment, you're going to take a food label, and part of what you're going to do is you are going to calculate how many calories you get from the grams of each of these macronutrients. Now, excess protein and animal protein. Most North Americans eat 1.5 to 2 times as much protein than they need. And they're getting this from animal sources. 2 problems. 1, excess is stored as fat, not as protein. So if you just eat a lot of protein, you're not going to build muscle. It's actually going to, unless you work out, it's going to be stored as fat. And animal sources, especially red meat, that's lamb and beef, tend to have a lot of fat and cholesterol in it. And this increases your risk of heart disease. I would like to close with this diagram. It is to remind you of the energy density of carbohydrates, which is 4 kilocalories per gram, protein, which is 4 kilocalories a gram, and fats, which is 9 kilocalories a gram. Now, they're all nutrients because they're providing you with energy, and they all have other functions within your body. Carbohydrates store energy. Proteins and fats make up functional units in your body. Alcohol, it actually yields energy too, 9 kilocalories a gram. But those are empty calories because alcohol doesn't do anything else in your body. And normally when we drink alcohol, we are taking in other nutrients as well, usually carbohydrates. So you're getting a lot of empty calories when you drink alcohol.